Hey everyone, welcome back to the next episode of Tea Party with Ghost. I'm Ghost,
I'm Ash.
and hello.
Hi.
So, today is going to be my episode. And before we get started, would you like to say what kind of tea you're drinking today?
I'm drinking lavender chamomile today.
Cool.
Yes.
Sounds very good.
It's very good. You drank it last week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's one of my new favorites. So.
Look, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah. And today I have New Intentions tea, which is a tea that we got at a local metaphysical shop. I don't know everything that's in it, but I do know it has jasmine, rose petals, and cinnamon in it, and it tastes kind of like apple pie.
It's delicious.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have the good dogs.
I don't know
Ellie.
if I would say good.
Yeah.
That's stretching it.
Yeah, Ellie's a little crackhead. She is a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. And then we have good boy Ozzy. And he is a Chihuahua Jack Russell Terrier mix.
Yeah, we have 2 Chihuahuas, so just take a guess at how that goes.
Yeah. And it wasn't intentional, they just kind of happened. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, you ready to get started for this week's episode?
Heck yeah, I have no idea what you're doing for this week, so.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, you're doing. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for the first state in the United States is Alabama, which is actually where we live.
Yay.
Yeah. So, I thought I would actually start with our local legend and ghost story for today.
Yeah.
And I actually do have a haunted ghost story to tell you about this.
Yeah?
That I've never told you before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I do know for a fact it is 100% real.
Okay.
So.
Cool, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because we grew up being told this story, so.
Yeah. So, for Alabama, let's start our tea party. A well-known legend centered around the Bankhead National Forest that began in the 1860s is the story of Aunt Jeannie Johnston. She and her husband raised 10 children. Cinnamon. Sorry, that was our cat Cinnamon. She doesn't like the dogs. And she just hissed at Ellie.
She's old and very vocal about it.
Yeah, she's an old lady.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Aunt Jeannie Johnston, her and her husband raised 10 children while running a tavern and inn.
God, could you imagine having 10 kids?
Fuck no, I don't even want... No.
I mean,
we have 2 dogs, 4 cats.
We have
That
6.
is enough. 0 human babies because they are not wanted in this house. Anyways, her husband gave aid to several Union men and Confederate deserters who would hide throughout the surrounding forest and hills during during the Civil War. The Home Guard Patrol approached their home either to draft their sons for the war or to punish her husband for these traitorous acts. So the guard lynched Jeannie's husband to a tree while he was hanging there, and their oldest son rushed up to stop his father's death and was shot by the Home Guard. They then hanged and shot his father and rode away on their horses. Legend has it that Jeannie made all of her children join her in taking a blood oath with their own father's blood, pledging not to rest until every one of the 8 members of the Home Guard that murdered her husband and eldest son were killed. It is said that she first shot the leader of the Home Guard and made a soap dish out of his skull, then trained her children to shoot proficiently and set out in her revenge.
Damn, Jenny, get it.
Right? Which, I mean,
I'd probably do the same thing.
It was during the Civil War.
Well,
they were killed. Yeah.
Fuck the Confederates, man.
Yeah, but they were killing the...
Yeah, they were.
Was it the Confederates?
Yeah,
they were killing?
they
Okay,
were
yeah.
helping Union and Confederate.
Yeah, I see that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking of the South, so they're
yeah.
Aunt Jeannie Johnston had a wooden cane in which she cut a notch with every death of the posse members her sons brought back to her. 7 of the 8 men of the home guard were killed, and the last one disappeared when he got word that Jenny and her sons were after his life.
Damn.
She died at the age of 98,
Damn.
outliving all but one of her children. On her deathbed, she told how proud she was of her sons for dying like men.
Jesus. Jesus!
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that part.
Really?
Yeah. I
See,
never heard that part.
See, I knew that about the soap
Mhm.
dish and
Well, no, I meant about
the cane.
her outliving.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know that either.
No, I heard about the cane. I hadn't heard about the soap dish though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. People in the surrounding areas have passed down the history and legends of Aunt Jeannie Johnston from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
There are many stories in which people park their cars at her old home place, and she will supposedly come up to their car and tell them to get off of her property, threatening to take their lives too if they don't leave, and then disappearing into thin air.
Well, damn.
People claim to have seen a green light moving around the land and hear footsteps, and she is also said to appear in the cars of passersby on Halloween night. There are many different stories that have been added to the actual historical events made up along the road to entertain others or to warn people to avoid the forest in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
because driving through there is really creepy at night.
Yeah. Have you ever been out to her home place?
I have once, and it was in the daytime.
We went out there at nighttime.
No, thank you.
Yeah, one night, Maxine, Joe, and all the boys and Mandy was with Joey, and we all went out there one night to the graveyard where she's buried at. Because the house isn't there anymore because all the jackass teenagers decided they were going to burn it out burn it down one night.
Mm-hmm.
So her home isn't there anymore, but you can still go to the ruins where it's at because they never did clean it up.
No, of course they didn't.
So, but it's actually very peaceful out at the cemetery at night. We went out there at midnight.
You're braver than I am. I'll tell you that much.
The legend of Aunt Jeannie Johnston has had quite an effect on the surrounding areas. Legends have formed around her story to keep young people out of the woods late at night in an attempt to scare them away from getting into trouble. And I can vouch for this because there is nothing to do in the city or the county in which this is.
No. Look.
The only thing there is to do is either drugs, get pregnant, or burn down houses.
That's about it. Most of these towns don't even have red lights in them, so
yeah,
that'll tell you how small they are.
Yeah, it's very, very small, and especially where her house is, there's maybe 3 people that lives in that, probably within a 30-mile radius. Like if you go on the actual road and stuff,
there's only 3 or 4 people that live down that way.
They are told in public libraries and in schools in the surrounding areas to inform people of the history behind the ghost stories and to entertain audiences around Halloween. These legends seem to have served their purpose for about 100 years, but times change and so do people. Aunt Jeannie Johnston's headstone has been stolen from her grave and replaced multiple times. The descendants finally gave up on replacing it, and her grave is now bare. Her house was still standing until 2010 when it burned down. No one was ever caught or arrested for arson.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. It'd be hard to find out who did it.
Yeah, it's very, very rural. Like, if you know the movie Wrong Turn, that is about how out of the city it is.
Yeah, it's about like 20-30 minutes away from anything.
Yeah, from any civilization.
Like it's literally it's called the National Bankhead Forest.
Bankhead National Forest.
Bankhead, whatever. And like it's a big hiking place, so like there's just nothing out there. No cell phone service. Nothing.
Yeah. And it's sad to think that the legends might die out in time with no little house or headstone to prompt the telling of the story of Aunt Jeannie Johnston.
Except for the librarian there in our hometown.
Yeah, Miss Carla Waldrop. Every year on Halloween, she actually dresses up like Aunt Jenny Johnston
Mm-hmm.
and tells the story, which is
Mhm.
actually from where I got this from, was from her.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. She's our local librarian historian, and yeah, that's her specialty, is telling the story of
Mhm.
Aunt Jenny Johnston. I remember she would come to elementary school and tell
Yeah.
us about it.
Yeah.
And her son, Hunter, was in my grade,
Mm-hmm.
and I was friends with him. So, now, the hauntings.
Yep. Okay.
So, my mom and dad actually went out to her house one day,
Mhm.
and it was already after it was burned.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the root cellar to the house is still there, and you can go down into the root cellar.
Oh.
So my mom actually set up a tape recorder, a voice recorder,
Oh man, like on the old, yeah.
on the root cellar.
Yeah.
And mom then went and walked around the property and everything, just to get a layout of how everything was. And yes, like I said, it's really peaceful out there.
Mm-hmm.
So she went and picked up the tape recorder after she got done walking around and everything. Well, that night she was listening to the playback, and she actually heard somebody talking on the tape. You could not make out what they were saying, but you could hear it was a voice.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah. But the creepier one.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. So Carla,
Okay. Yeah.
the librarian,
Mm-hmm.
she told my mom a story about how her and Hunter, her son,
Mhm.
and another man, I'm not sure exactly who he was,
Mhm.
it was just a family friend of hers,
Mhm.
they went down into the root cellar, and Hunter did not believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
He thought it was all, bullshit
Mm-hmm.
and, made up and
Right.
everything. So Dummy goes down in the root cellar and is like, "Oh, come on, if you're real, prove yourself,
Oh,
show
no.
me." He was provoking.
Yeah.
So Carla said while they were walking down there, Hunter got quiet all of a sudden. She turned around. Hunter couldn't breathe. And something had shoved him up against the wall and kind of like elevated him up a little bit. It didn't pick him up all the way off the floor.
Oh dear.
But it had him like where he was up in the...
Yeah.
Yeah. And it choked him.
Oh my god, dude.
And so she got him to where he could breathe again. And then so now he believes in...
Oh, I bet he does. I bet he fucking does. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. So that was the story I told you I had to tell you that I hadn't told you before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I know Carla's been out there a lot, and she does like a lot of tours and stuff. I know she does them. She still do them on Halloween night.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about that night, but I do know during the day she does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Interesting.
that's actually all I have, because it's not a very long topic.
Yeah, like you can't really find a whole lot about her, I don't think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember when we were kids, we always heard Johnson.
Yeah.
But her last name was Johnston with an T.
Well, I mean, people down here can't
I
pronounce
know.
shit, man.
I know. And anyone listening to this probably thinks the same thing about us, that we can't pronounce shit.
Okay, well, listen, we're not really we're from Alabama. Okay, you gotta give us a break.
This voice is not by choice. So
we're not as illiterate as we sound. I promise.
Yeah. And we are very much not a Southern, what's it called? Stereotype.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely not a Southern stereotype.
No, thank you.
We just happen to sound like it.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I've always said that my accent is not that thick, and then I listen to the playback of our recordings, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
could have told me I sounded like a fucking hick.
Well, when we were in Scotland, they knew exactly where we
I
were from.
know. Oh my lord.
Well, I guess I could go into another short, small, very, very small topic to extend this episode out a little longer.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, so
See?
hold this.
Hold my poodle.
Yeah, hold my poodle.
Ellie, why don't you growl for us?
Hey, Ellie.
Want to give us another one?
So this is another small little story it's very local to where we live. It's about 10 miles from there. It is about most states or cities has their lady in white story. But this one is about the Highway 5 ghost that is in Lynn, Alabama. And it was said that years ago, a teenage girl was returning home from prom with her boyfriend in his truck when the couple got into an argument. The girl got out of the truck and decided she was going to walk home, but she never made it. Her body was found the next day in a ditch along the side of the road, having evidently been run over by a large truck. And since then, her spirit has been seen at points on the highway between Natural Bridge and Jasper, and it is said that if an 18-wheeler travels down the road on a rainy night, she will climb onto the side of the truck to peek inside and see if the driver is the one that killed her.
No, thank you.
Now, I do know that my Nana actually saw a woman in white on side of the road in that same area one night as she was coming back home from going to Jasper to Walmart. It was before we had a Walmart. Well, before the Super Center.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We had just a plain Walmart.
Yeah, it was before the Super Centers were a real big thing.
Yeah.
We're old.
Yeah. And, so Nana was on her way home that night, and she actually saw a woman in white on the side of the road. And my Nana doesn't lie about anything.
Yeah.
Like, it bothered her so much she didn't tell anyone about it for years.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Until she told my dad just a few years ago, and then he told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I asked Nana about it not too long ago.
Oh, yeah?
And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, it scared the hell out of me.
I feel like a lot of times when people encounter ghosts or whatever for the first time, it's like traumatic.
Yeah. I believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I've had my share of experiences with having stuff that I can't explain.
Right.
Not necessarily, I would say, I guess you would say a ghost, but I've had stuff that definitely could not be explained, and I've seen stuff that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Me
so
too,
if you want to call it a ghost, you can. But even that night that I got grabbed.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So when Nana and Papa moved into their their house there on Clear Creek, it was the very first night that I stayed there, and I was laying on my left side, and something grabbed my right shoulder. Yeah, and nothing was there.
Yeah, no, there was definitely something in there, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Because all the times I stayed over there I was unsettled and uncomfortable.
Yeah, same.
I hated going over there. And you lived there.
Yeah, I know, for years.
Jesus.
But yeah, this is 2 local legends in Alabama.
Yeah.
For where we grew up.
Yeah,
we don't live there anymore, but we grew up there.
And honestly, Alabama has a lot of ghost stories, like the face in the courthouse.
I've been there. I've been there several times.
There was actually an author who lived in Alabama who wrote a bunch of books. What were they called?
13 it was like 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey.
Yeah.
There's 13 Mississippi Ghosts and Jeffrey.
Mhm.
It was Catherine Tucker Wyndham.
Yeah, she wrote a lot of books about like local ghosts and stuff like that.
And I've met her several times, and she's a very sweet lady.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're interested in like, different ghost stories that are written very well, you can look her up. I'll probably leave her name in the show notes so you can look up her books and stuff. It's what we grew up on.
Yeah. Our spooky ghost stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, she died in 2011. I remember that when she
Mm.
died. Yeah, she died there in Selma. That's where she
Yeah.
lived.
Selma has a lot of shit.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a picture of me, her, and my mama.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was actually it was on the front page of the paper, that actual picture.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yo.
that they took.
Yeah.
And so we actually have the news
Oh,
clipping
yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's cool.
Because my cousin that lives down in Selma, they sent it to us.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all that I have. It's a short
Okay, cool.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But interesting. We always love a good ghost story.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, if y'all have any, ghost stories you want to send us, I love to read ghost stories.
Yeah, please do.
I love any kind of scary story because that's what I'm into. I am into horror. I love horror movies. I will watch any horror movie. I probably have seen most of them. But yeah, if you want to send us a ghost story or a spooky story,
Yeah, please do.
or pictures of your pets, because we love pets.
Yeah. And you know what? If we can get enough, we may do a listener episode
Yeah.
as a bonus episode and tell y'all stories.
Yeah. And we will definitely post pictures of our pets.
Yeah.
On Instagram if we get a big enough following.
Yeah. You know what? That's an incentive. We will post our pets if y'all follow us on Instagram.
Yeah. And you have something to say, Ellie? So Ellie just ripped the pop filter off the microphone. And it was in her mouth for about 5 seconds.
She is in a mood. In a mood.
She is very sassy.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Anyways, so all of our socials and our links will be in the show notes.
And it's on Instagram. It is at Tea Party with Ghosts.
Yep,
that's plural ghosts.
Yep.
And our email is teapartywithghost@gmail.com.
Yep.
So send us stuff, rate, review. If you love us, let us know. If you hate us, let us know.
Yeah, give us feedback.
Yeah, and tell us what we could do better.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, well, we will see you all next week with some sort of religious occult story from Ash.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.